You are listening to the 5 a.m. podcast, and today is your day. Good morning and welcome to today's episode. I am thrilled to chat with our special guest today. He is a force in the world of thought leadership and business transformation. Our guest has interviewed over 500 of the world's top thought leaders, from Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield to Shark Tank's Barbara Corcoran. Plus, he's helped countless entrepreneurs scale their businesses by 7 to 9 figures. He's also an international best-selling author with 11 books to his credit, including 2 New York Times bestsellers. He's also recorded over 850 podcast episodes. Today, he'll share some powerful insights to help you on becoming a branded authority in your field, scaling your business, and creating a lasting impact while staying true to your values. Now, a warm welcome to you as you listen and watch wherever you might be. I want to say a hello to our recent listeners in Brazil, Germany, Sweden, and South Africa. Please consider sharing this with 3 of your friends. I know that many are going to not only enjoy this conversation, but profit from this conversation. So a big thanks to our friends over at myinstantgold.com, where you can buy gold for as little as $1 at a time. And it's a great way to teach your children to begin saving with precious metals. You can get your Sound Money wallet by signing up at myinstantgold.com. And of course, we want to thank those who ventured over to buymeacoffee.com/5am podcast and bought us a few of those delicious cups of coffee this week and last. We do appreciate all levels of support. Nicky Billou, it is a pleasure to welcome you to the 5 a.m. podcast.
Michael, thanks for having me on the show, man. I'm super pumped to be here with you.
Great. I am too. It's wonderful. We ladies and gentlemen, we met on that delightful site called Podmatch that I often talk about. And I've been looking forward to this conversation for quite some time. And we're going to jump into Nicky's journey. And Nicky, one of the ways that you describe yourself, and it seems to be very important to you, is you're a Christian immigrant from the Middle East who's grateful to live in a free country. I wanted to ask, how has your unique background shaped your approach to entrepreneurship and thought leadership?
That's a fantastic question. Well, let me begin by delving into my background. So, As you said, I'm originally an immigrant from the Middle East. I'm a Christian from Iran. When I was 11 years old, the Islamic Revolution took place in Iran, and there were literal gun battles in the streets. My mom and dad took a look around and said, this is not a place to raise a family, never mind a Christian family. So they made a plan to get us out of Iran. It took a couple years. They got us out of Iran, and we moved initially to Athens, Greece, and we applied to become immigrants to the great nation of Canada. And it took a couple more years for us to be accepted. And then we finally came to Toronto, Canada, where I now live. Now, I'm sure you can appreciate, I was a kid at that time. I was 11 when the revolution started. I was 15 by the time we got to Canada. So I was an adolescent. I didn't want to leave my home. I didn't want to leave my friends. I didn't really understand what was happening, why our family needed to uproot itself. But as time went on, I began to see the awesome nobility of my parents' sacrifice. They left behind everyone and everything they knew.
Wow.
For a chance at a better life for me and my 2 brothers. And I started to appreciate the awesome majesty of living in a free society. In Iran, mom and dad would say to me and my brothers, boys, be quiet. Don't say anything bad about the mullahs, man. You know, because if you do, they could come knocking on our door in the middle of the night and take us all the way to jail. And people who were carried away in the middle of the night usually didn't come back, right? But here in Canada, you could talk shit about the prime minister anytime you want, right? You're not going to go to jail for it. And I could also see that living in a free society gave you the opportunity to pursue your own dreams. Like living in a tyrannical nation, you're going to have to lick a tyrant's boots to get ahead. Here, as an entrepreneur, you can choose your path, you can chart your course, you can go for it. Anybody, no matter what their background, if they're willing to work hard, work smart, and they can create the relationships they need, can make their dreams come alive. That's why I become a champion for freedom, because freedom is the core bedrock of entrepreneurial success. Without freedom, you can't have free expression. Without free expression, you can't have free enterprise, which means you can't start and grow and make your dreams come to fruition. I believe every entrepreneur owes a debt of gratitude to those great men and women who made Canada, the United States, and the Western tradition of civilization, of free society, come alive. I believe that all of us need to stand up for freedom. And it's so important here that we stand up for those people in government and politics that believe in freedom. Now, I know a lot of entrepreneurs going, "Oh, Nicky, man, I'm not into politics, man. Stop. You're losing me." You may not be into politics, but I promise you, politics is into you. And if you don't stand up for freedom, your freedoms will be taken away to the point where they won't exist anymore. And your dreams will lay in ashes at your feet. Okay? And so, to me, that's why I become this champion for freedom. And my late father, God rest his soul, was an entrepreneur, the greatest man I ever knew. My dad was the kind of man, Michael, if you were looking for work, Dad would sit you down in his office, call all his buddies in business, in government, and ethically manipulate them till you got a job. If you were trying to start a business, he'd sit with you, clear his calendar, listen to your ideas until he gave you his best advice. And my friend, if you were a friend and you were trying to buy a car or a house and the bank would only give you so much money, because that's what happens in second world countries, right? They only give you so much money. You go up to my father and you go, "Mr. Billou, you know, I need an extra 10,000, 5,000, 20,000. And he'd write you a check. And you'd consider it a loan, and then you'd go to try to pay him back. And he'd say, "What are you doing?" He said, I'm paying you back. And he said, "No, get out of here." He said, "No, that was a loan." He said, "That was not a loan. Don't insult me. Get out of here. Now, if someone else needs help, you go help them." And that's how my dad would be. And people go, "No, man, this is not real, bro. Nobody's really like that, man. You're talking Hollywood." No, man, this was real. And they go, "Why would he do that? What's in it for him?" And I say, great question. First and foremost, my father was a committed Christian. He believed that he'd been blessed by God Almighty and his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now, he didn't take himself very seriously, but he took his faith and that obligation very seriously. And it was his belief that sharing his blessings had to happen all the time. And he made a point of it. Secondly, why would he do that? Because he could. He was successful. He was rich. I wanted to be like my father. As a kid, I'd go around, hang out with my dad every chance I got. And, you know, Dad would say to me, "Son, life, son, is about people, not numbers, not money." And I'd go, "Okay, Dad." And then he'd also say to me, "Son, even business is about people, not money." And I said, "But Dad, without money, you can't do business." "What are you talking about?" He said, "True, son. But without people, there's no need for money. What is business? It's solving problems for people for a profit. You solve acute problems for awesome people and an amazing profit. That's the awe-inspiring purpose of business." And my father drilled this into me. And he said, "Son, that man sitting in front of you, that's someone's son. That's someone's brother. That's someone's husband. That's someone's father. That's a hero to somebody. And maybe he was disappointed in life or in business by someone just like you. It's your job to restore his faith in humanity."
Yeah.
Remember, every man, every woman on this planet loses faith in themselves from time to time. And they need someone else to see them for who they are, to believe in them. Because that little spark of belief and encouragement could turn into a roaring fire. And then they're off.
That's right.
To the races.
Yes.
I tell you, my friend, people, you've said some very complimentary things about you, and I thank you for that. But of all the things I'm most proud of is I'm Napoleon Billou's son, and I'm a professional believer in people.
Thanks for watching the show. Just a reminder that you can get all of our resources, other episodes, and read our blog posts at 5ampodcast.com. Your children's financial future is too important to delay. start their golden future at myinstantgold.com. Amen to that. I really appreciate you sharing that and going deep. You are a man of your word, absolutely. And one of you mentioned this. You got this from your dad, that business is not a numbers game; it's a people's game. And I'm going to ask you to elaborate on that philosophy, because people, they don't need those handouts that we see in socialism. They need that handshake and that warm hug. Can you elaborate on this philosophy and share how it's impacted your most successful clients?
That's a fantastic question. So I'll begin by sharing a story.
Okay.
So there was a client I had years ago, and I met him through another client who knew him well and said, look, I think you should talk to my buddy, Nicky Billou. I think he can help you. You're a little stuck in life and business.
Yeah.
So this guy at the time was a personal fitness trainer, and he was a good fellow, like good dude. Like, you met him, you got to know him. If you had a sister or a daughter, you just go, hey, sweetheart, stop dating those losers. I want you to meet Dan. You got to go date Dan. Just trust me. Like, that's what you tell her. Because, like, he was that kind of guy. And he loved people. But his business was failing. Like, he had 7 clients. He was making $1,200 a month in Toronto on a good month. And that's not enough money in Toronto to live,
nope,
right?
Definitely not.
So mom and dad were helping him out. So he came to me and he said, okay, Nicky, I need to make some money. Like, I need money, man. I'm like, I understand. I said, tell me a bit about what you do. And he said, well, look, I'm in fitness. I can help anybody with any fitness problem. I can help them lose weight. I can help them put on muscle. I can get them ready for a wedding, whatever. It doesn't matter. I can help them with anything. And I said, Danny, no, you got to narrow the focus. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful. That's why you're not successful now. He goes, okay. So he said, so how do I do that? And then he said, all right, I got an idea. I think I'm going to work with doctors. I'm like, doctors? Yeah, doctors. I go, well, why doctors? He says, well, my dad's a doctor. And I love my dad. And I said, that's nice. But, you need more than I love my dad as a reason to go after a market. He said, well, doctors make a lot of money, don't they, right? I need money. I got to make money. I said, Danny, no, man. You can't be thinking like that. It doesn't work. He goes, no, I got to do it. So he went after some clients for a couple months. He got like maybe 1 or 2. And I went to him. I said, Danny, you know what? It's not working too good. Let's rethink this. He said, okay, you're right. He said, I got it. I'm going to work with cardiologists. I'm like, cardiologists? What the hell for? Well, they make more money than doctors, man. This is great. I'm like, Danny, no, it's not about the freaking money. So he goes, no, man, I'm doing this. He got no clients from his cardiology venture.
Yes, right.
However, in the meantime, he did, through serendipity or through the mysterious ways of the Lord, get connected to a man who was a Paralympian athlete. This guy had won medals, I think, for Cuba back in the day. He was now a Canadian. His name was Papito Wilson. He lost a leg in a childhood accident.
Wow.
And anyways, these guys, they really hit it off. They did great work together. And through the work he did with Wilson, I think he won some medals at major international competition. I think back then was the Pan Am Games in Toronto.
Okay.
Paralympic Games or whatever they call that. And I believe he won maybe even a gold medal. Like, it was a big deal, right? So Danny comes to me and he says to me, Nicky, and he was just like looking hangdog and shamefaced. He says, I am sorry. I owe you an apology. I go, why do you think you owe me an apology? He said, you've been trying to tell me something, to stop focusing on the money and start focusing on helping people. And I wasn't listening because I was desperate. I needed money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were right and I was wrong. That is a big statement for a man to make. You know what I mean? It is. Not something most men do. Let's be honest. And And I said, that's big of you, Dan. And he said, I have an idea, though. I want to run it by you. I said, what's the idea? He said, I want to work with people with missing limbs because
Wow.
I understand what they're going through and I know how to help them get fit. And I know how to help them have the confidence to do this. The moment he said this to me, Michael, I'm like, oh, this is good.
Yes.
Yeah. I said, Danny, run with it. Anyways, so you understand, this is a man with 7 clients who all of a sudden in 6 weeks signed up 400 clients.
Whoa. Wow.
400. Now, remember, before he was going after the money, and now he had stopped going after the money. 400 clients meant 2 things. One, Danny was a one-on-one in-person personal trainer. That model was dead. He needed a new model. So we created an online group and coaching model. So he was able to handle 400 people because one-on-one, it was not happening, man.
Right.
Two. Okay. So the second thing that happened was Danny's income went up to over $100,000 a month.
Wow.
Not going after the money. I want to repeat, not going after the money. Now, why does that matter? Because I believe our God is an abundant God and he wants you to live abundantly.
Yes.
And if you focus on giving, he will give to you. The more you give, the more will be given to you. The more you try to take, the more will be taken from you. I believe there's a line in the Bible that's something similar to that, right? Not exactly that, but something similar. To whom who has much, much more will be given. To whom who has nothing, even that which he has will be taken away. That's a mindset. That's an energy vibe you put out there. So, additionally, Dan did not spend a penny on marketing or advertising. There were no ads. This happened organically. It was all profit.
Wow.
Think about this. Why? Why was he so successful with no marketing spend organically, getting 400 clients in 6 weeks? Okay. I'll tell you why. Because he wasn't selling personal training programs.
Yeah.
Dan was selling hope. Dan was selling a vision of the possible, a vision of hope for someone who had lost a limb. Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
They are not thrilled to have lost a limb. I assure you of this. They would prefer to have all their limbs. They have a level of resentment, of maybe self-pity, and definitely a level of resignation that this is as good as it's going to get for me, physically speaking.
Yeah.
Dan's message wasn't, I'm going to train you and let's work out. His message was, hey, I see you. Not whatever belief you have about you with a missing limb. I see you. And you are a child of the Most High. And you are able to do anything anyone else can do. And let me prove it to you. That's the subtext of the message. That's why 400 people signed up. Because back then, it's different now. Nobody in the fitness space was trying to work with people with missing limbs. You understand that? Nobody. Yep. He was the first. He had a virgin market. He did great.
Wow.
He did great.
Powerful. And it's, I was outside doing a little bit of digging in the dirt in our garden earlier this morning before we were having this conversation. And I was thinking about this. We want to be purveyors of hope and possibility here at 5 a.m. podcast, helping people seize their days. But lately, my wife, Susan, and I have been talking about this phrase, don't let perfection stand in the way of purpose. And it sounds to me like there's a lot of entrepreneurs that you speak to that maybe their comfort zone is waiting until things are perfect. Can you talk about maybe some of your clients that realized their purpose? They had a purpose that needed to be fulfilled, not just for their benefit, but for the benefit of those they would serve.
Well, that's a great, great point. So I'll illustrate it by a story, another story.
Okay, good.
So there's a woman who came to us a few years back. Her name, I'm going to just change it to protect innocent, but we're going to call her Dr. Vicky.
Okay.
She was a functional medicine doctor.
Okay.
And she was already quite successful when she came to see us. She made 6 figures a year. But she wanted to do more, but not just for the sake of doing more. She was a Catholic woman who was her daddy's girl. And her father had been a very successful entrepreneur who was dying of aggressive glioblastoma, brain cancer.
Wow.
Vicky was devastated. And when she came to me, she said, I want to be more successful because I want to honor my father. So I have to be successful. She says, I'm doing 6 figures a year. I want to do 7 figures. Because I want dad to know he raised me right. 6 months later, her father died. I went to the wake. It was something.
Wow.
Her why was strong. She was very coachable. When she first started working with us, first question we asked her was, so Vicky, who's your ideal client? And she said to me, well, here's the truth, Nicky. I can really help anybody with any health problem. I said, I understand, but that's bad marketing. Might be a great skill set, but it's bad marketing. We need to narrow your focus. She says, well, how do I do that? I said, well, you've had a lot of clients. I said, we're going to have you go through something we call the ideal client exercise. So I'm going to show you the ideal client exercise because it is a brilliant, brilliant exercise that we developed. I'm just going to show it to you right now. I think you're going to love it, Michael.
I know I will.
So
I've got a good feeling about this.
Can you see this?
Absolutely.
So this is a tool we helped her use. We said, who are the clients you got the best results for? So you list all the clients you got amazing outcomes for. So 2 is, who are the clients you enjoyed working with the most? List the clients that you enjoyed working with the most. And 3, who are the clients that were the easiest to do business with? List the clients that you found easiest to do business with. Like you give them a price, they pay it instantly, in full.
Yeah.
They give you lots of referrals. No fuss, no muss. They do the work, right?
Yeah.
So you may see there's a spot where all 3 of those intersect, right?
Yes.
That's the ideal client. So we found out who was on all 3 lists. And in her case, it was women.
Okay.
Over the age of 45, happily married with 2 or more kids, and professionals, i.e. they had a business, they were lawyers, accountants, directors, VPs, CEOs.
Right.
Their life looked great. And you might be thinking to yourself, why the hell are they seeing Dr. Vicky if their life looks so great? Well, except for one teeny area. Teeny, just teeny.
Small.
Now, Michael, you and I, we're both men, right? We don't claim or pretend to truly understand women. But I've heard, that's possible that women really, really, really like feeling pretty, beautiful, desirable. I've heard this. Have you heard this?
Yeah,
I've heard this.
I have.
I've
Yep.
heard. Don't know if it's true because, like, I'm a man. I don't know, right? But I've heard this. And apparently, these women did not any longer feel pretty, desirable, beautiful. In fact, they felt the opposite. And Dr. Vicky said to me, listen, Nicky, getting older is inevitable. Every year, the number will go up.
Mm-hmm.
However, aging, that's another matter.
Yeah.
You actually physiologically get younger. And she
Absolutely.
said, you can be just as pretty, just as beautiful, just as desirable in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s as you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's good. I said, you can deliver on this? She said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I said,
wow.
Nice, very nice. I said, we need a good name for your program, and I happen to be good at this sort of thing. So I said, we're going to call it Get Your Sexy Back. Boom. Get your sexy back. So Dr. Vicky, in her first year, doubled her business.
Wow.
In her second year with us, she doubled it again from that new base. And in her third year, she doubled it again from that new base. She went from 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month. That's the power of a purpose, of honoring someone.
Yeah.
Bigger, higher than self.
Thanks for watching the show. Just a reminder that you can get all of our resources, other episodes, and read our blog posts at 5ampodcast.com. What are you teaching your children about protecting their future? While inflation erodes savings accounts and market volatility threatens traditional investments, families need a timeless solution that stands the test of time. Introducing mindstgold.com, the revolutionary sound money wallet that makes gold ownership accessible to everyone. For as little as $1, you and your children can start building a portfolio of real physical gold with mindstgold.com. That's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got that comment section, whether you're listening to us on Spotify or Good Pods, or even YouTube or Apple. And so we'd love to hear from you. Tell us your why. Tell us your purpose. Or even do a shout out to Nicky that, man, I need some help because I've got some stinking thinking. And we need to, you might need to be part of the e-circle. So Nicky, you've helped a lot of people. Can you talk about the work you do with e-circle and the Academy and how you actually literally help many, many, many people beyond what we've heard about today?
Sure. So typically, Michael, we help folks who are in business for themselves. They've been in business for a while, at least a couple of years, 3 years or more. They have a going concern. So they have clients, etc., right? And most of our people are some sort of a expert, thought leader, coach, consultant, author, speaker. Those are our typical people. And these are the main pain points, itches they want to scratch, as it were. Number one is they're invisible. They have to grind for every client. And man, it's not fun anymore to grind. Like they're just burning out. You know what I'm saying? And they're not getting the results that they want. They're kind of like growing not very quickly or maybe not even at all. And what they really want is they want to be seen and they want to matter. They want to be recognized for their awesome capability and ability to help. So they have the goods. They can deliver, but they don't maybe get business as well as they get how to help people. They don't understand sales. They don't understand marketing all that well. They're a little nervous about selling. They don't want to be seen as one of these salesy, pushy type people.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, right? They want to be seen as good. Now, the problem with that is they don't go after business they should go after. So this is what keeps them stuck, right? And part of what we do is we help folks who are good people understand that sales is a limiting belief that they have around sales. And they need that limiting belief, stinking thinking, as you put it, reframe. So we don't want you to look at it as sales even. We want you to look at it as service as
Yeah.
love. Because if you stop focusing on you, I hope they like me, I hope they buy from me, and you start focusing on them, and I hope that I'm the right person to help them, or
Right.
at least the right
Yeah.
person to guide them to where they need to get the help if it's not me. And if the focus is on them and what they need, then, and this is a big part of the mindset we teach people, honestly, sales just come rushing your way. So,
Wow.
like one of our recent clients, his name is Michael Osterlenk, Ostrolenk. He's like a polymath. He's like a renaissance man, but he's
Wow.
never had to sell until recently.
Okay.
Like business always came to him. And then he had to start learning how to sell. And he hated having to learn how to sell. He didn't want to, but he needed to. And he was invisible. So he started to work with us. And we showed him how to sell. We showed him how to put himself out there, how to be seen, how to be visible. And there's a lot that we've done with him. We've worked with him since, January of 2024. And just the month of May, he had a $50,000 month.
Wow.
Like month. And actually, he made, I think, most of it in the last 3 days of May, like 48 hours.
Wow.
Boom, boom, boom. Just he's starting to be seen. Certain people are coming to him, talking business, and they're wanting to work with him. And that's the sort of thing we're excited to do. We show people how to create their IP, intellectual property, and put it out there. We show people how we got an on-camera, Hollywood level on-camera coach that shows you how to be good on camera, because most people stink on camera. So like part of our course is you spend a couple of days with him. He works with you one-on-one. So your videos are Oscar worthy rather than they suck.
Yeah. Right.
And that's our deal, man. That's what we do.
Wow.
We're looking for good people. Like, it's really important. We curate our group. We don't just take any and all comers. And I'll be candid. Our fees are on the high end because we believe in our value, and we charge accordingly. And we want to keep out people who aren't committed. And here's what we found. When you charge a lot of money, the people that come to work with you, they're ready to work. It's really great.
Yeah.
When you charge a little bit of money, man, they're just bitching and screaming all the time. So that's why I like to charge a lot of money.
And it's important too, because people will know the value. And certainly growing up, my parents would say, Michael, if you can't afford the good quality, don't buy anything. Wait till you have the money for the quality. And certainly now, I know when my wife and I are looking to make a purchase or something like that, we understand that we have to focus on the value that it's going to bring, and the value that we're willing to put out for something. And people always have that ebb and flow. And folks, through your life, that ebb and flow in business and entrepreneurship, you need to contact our friend and brother here, Nicky Billou. You absolutely need to get in touch with him. And Nicky, I want to ask you, beyond the business metrics, how do you define true success for the thought leader that you are, and what legacy are you personally working to build?
Brother, I believe that God intends for us to be free, which means that the free enterprise system needs to be strong and robust. So I got a vision that there's going to be 1 billion multimillionaires in the world. And if we do that, socialism can never take root, right?
That's right. That's right.
So I want to do my part, whether it's 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000, I want to make more people multimillionaires, man. That's kind of my deal. And beyond that, I want to be a good father. I got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old son.
Nice.
I want to make sure that they're well on their way. I mean, my 19-year-old's he's working. He's doing good. He's doing very well, actually. My 17-year-old is entering grade 12. And I want to set him up to be able to chart his own course. I want to be a good man to my woman. And I run a men's organization as well. I want to help men be uplifted in this season where manhood and masculinity are being trashed by some dark forces.
Yeah.
And, I want to go out there, smile, laugh, be in the sun, work out, all that good stuff. And I
Yes.
just want to say, your parents taught you well. Like, I mean, just
Yeah, they did.
seeing you over video, you talking
Hmm.
about quality. I can tell you're into quality things because I see you're
Absolutely.
using an excellent mic. You're not using a cheapo mic, right? My mic's off camera. It's not as good as yours. I got a good mic. I got a Blue Yeti, but yours is a higher quality mic. And I look at your shirt, man.
Hmm.
Um, that is
Thank you.
that is a high quality shirt. It's obvious that you're someone who values quality in what you do, and I believe that's very important.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, quality has been key over the years. I got a quality wife,
Uh-huh.
quality dog, and we just thank God for giving us wisdom. And we talk a lot about books. Leaders or readers. We know that the number one book, of course, that people can read is the Bible. And I'll often do the shout out to the book of Proverbs, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a chapter. There you go. There's a chapter in Proverbs for every day of the month. And so today is the 4th of June. We can read chapter 4. And boy, oh boy, there is a lot of nuggets of how to live, how to seek out quality friends, how to avoid the non-quality things. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got to tell you, you got to make sure to get over to Nicky's website, ecircleacademy.com. That is a great spot to be. And Nicky, I just want to thank you for such a wonderful conversation and sharing your insights and your stories today.
Michael, thanks for having me on the show, man. It was great to be here.
Yes, we'll have to have you back because I've got a bunch more questions for you. So
Sure.
thank you. And thank you to our viewers. We appreciate you joining in on this conversation. As I often say, it's like Nicky and I were in a diner having a delicious cup of coffee and maybe a lemon meringue pie or something, and you're eavesdropping as you do in a diner. I mean, it's just bound to happen. And so thank you for being here. We ask that you would subscribe, share this conversation with a friend or three. And I know there's somebody's name rolling around in your head and you're thinking, yeah, Jimmy needs to hear this one or Beth needs to hear this one. And so I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank those that have gone over to buymeacoffee.com/5am podcast. We do appreciate all levels of support and for just you being able to receive what we can give you. You know, there's a story in the Bible about two guys that were asked by a beggar for some gold, and they said, "Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have give to you." And of course, you can go Google that and find the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say. But I want to thank you for being here. Until next time, please seize your day. Enjoy those sunrises and sunsets and all those adventures in between. I'm Michael Klassen. Thanks for watching the show. Just a reminder that you can get all of our resources, other episodes, and read our blog posts at 5ampodcast.com. What are you teaching your children about protecting their future? While inflation erodes savings accounts and market volatility threatens traditional investments, families need a timeless solution that stands the test of time. Introducing mindstgold.com, the revolutionary sound money wallet that makes gold ownership accessible to everyone. For as little as $1, you and your children can start building a portfolio of real physical gold. Show them with mindstgold.com.